Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to the first broadcast of ESL Season 47. And here we do have a seldom seen duo in the modern day and age. It's Pineapple Phillips, joined by Laz. Incorrect names, believe it or not, at the bottom of the screen. Laz, how are you doing this evening?
Yeah, doing good. It's I guess it's a compliment. We can be actor 5, but no, like you said, I'm Liz, you're Pineapple Phillips, but that's okay. But it's a good start. It's good to finally be back. We're here for C47, and man, it's been a long time since you and I have been here together on the disc and casting together. So this is gonna be good. I'm looking forward to it.
I was going to say it's been months, but it might even have been a year at this stage. It has been a very long time since we have worked together. Going to shake off the rust, but going to have a good time. And of course, it's always a good time on ECF in NA. Of course, this is the first day, once again, of Season 47. First day of games. No one has any record thus far. And in fact, we do have an action-packed night as well. We have a schedule coming up here shortly. We, of course, are covering Fluffy Aimers versus Carpe Diem on the A stream, and I believe Exner and Fi are on the B stream as well, covering. Are they covering? As you know, Take Flight versus One More Esports. A lot of action happening this evening, opening night of ECL Season 47.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on, right? So there's multiple streamers going on, so that's the fun thing. So again, like you don't have to tune into us only. You can obviously tune in for them as well. Make sure to have both, right? Like why not, right? So we'll talk a little bit about the format. We're going to bring that up here for you, and I think there's been some interesting pieces with this, Nate, as well. Like kind of a lot of similar pieces about the amount of teams and kind of like how the round robins work, the playoffs and all. But there is kind of that one interesting piece that these matches are not necessarily BO3 anymore.
Yeah, so I feel like the main takeaway last season for the format was how kind of convoluted yet good the playoff structure was. Top two is going directly to that upper bracket round of 4, etc. If I'm not mistaken, everything is the same in that respect down to a T. Top two is still going to the upper bracket round of 4, 3 through 6, the upper bracket round of 8, 7 through 10 in the lower bracket. Yeah, so that seems the same for the most part. What's very different, as you mentioned, and a more fundamental change, I dare say, than even the playoff structure is the fact that we're no longer on best of 3s. We are doing a 2 best of 1 round robin. That means it's not going to be a best of 3 ban. There's no team picking a first map, no team picking a second map. It's going to be a straight ban down to 1 map. And then if I'm not mistaken, that second ban will have that first map automatically excluded. And both maps should be having a knife round to determine who starts on what side.
Yeah, and that's what makes it kind of exciting too, right? And a lot of people are probably thinking like, wow, okay, this is only a best of 1. And that is the thing, is 2 separate best of 1s. So we got really, really clear about that. Like it's not a best of 2, it's 2 BO1s on its own. So that's a really important thing too, because now in a BO3 where you can kind of, have that wash of a 1 map and push things for, the third, it's kind of the nitty gritty of like, making sure your vetoes are intact for that BO1, because I think everybody has their own opinions about them, but I think this just adds way more excitement to this and a lot more here for these teams to kind of prove themselves in a situation like this.
Yeah, and honestly, I was ignorant of the format coming into it. We were figuring it out, trying to find the rules, etc. I was worried about just 2 Mirage games happening back to back. That was what I was most afraid of, just the same map back to back and seeing how it would change or how it wouldn't. But I'm glad to see that will not be the case. And in addition, I do like the fact that it's 2 best of 1s, not BO2. I do remember way back in the day, before I was really into competitive Counter-Strike, they had a best of 2 format and you could just tie and get 0 points, and that really didn't make sense to me. At least if you trade maps, you still both get points. It still makes a little more sense in my mind in that respect. But with the overall format discussed and squared away, we can actually break into our matchup, which is Fluffy Aimers versus Carpe Diem. Both teams coming into the season with some roster changes. Fluffy Aimers, Intra, Learcy, Jason, Sacrifice, and Pendulum. Actually, it's an entirely different roster listed for Fluffy Aimers. So
that's
okay.
That's
that is the right roster from what we said out loud. That's not quite the right roster on the graphic. It is the right logo though, and that is what counts. Carpe Diem, comprised of Wallow, Wiz, Arcade, Seb, and Lake. That trio of Arcade, Seb, and Lake carrying over from Unjustified in the prior season, and then picking up those 2 EG players in Walco and Wiz. That makes them a very potent crew heading into this.
No, definitely. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that's kind of the biggest thing for me in this matchup, right? We know that Fluffy Aimers as a group has been around for quite some time. They've had some pretty big wins in the past, but I think there's a huge, asterisk on this because again, there has been roster change. We don't really know what to expect. It is a new season, but I think a lot for me is the, Carpe Diem guys. There's a lot of, veterans that have been on the team, but also kind of bringing back Walco and Wiz essentially is huge because these guys did get to play with EG, which was that, higher level team and organization, things like that. But also, they have together for quite some time. So we'll have to see what they can bring. And Wilco has been a very interesting IGL. Like, I mean, there's moments where he can just frag out as an IGL, and there's moments where he's just making, really good calls as well. So I'm going to be really curious to see what Carpe Diem are going to get to here today.
Yeah. Adding on to that, I would say Wiz, I'm not sure how to feel about the Wiz pickup overall. It was not out on Wiz as it was on Walco, as you mentioned. Walco can take over a game. His IGLing is incredibly good. His clutch ability, also a very important factor. He's not taking over the game outright. He can still have tremendous impact by virtue of alone. Yeah. So I think this player as a pickup does wonders for this roster. Keep in mind, both these teams around the middling level of ECL last season. I believe we looked at the numbers. Fluffy Aimers 8th in the season or thereabouts. Carpe Diem, then Unjustified, again, without Walco and Wiz, were at the 5th to 6th spot at the end of playoffs. So they weren't at the top by any means, but again, that injection of hopefully Wiz, if he can find his stride, and Walco as at this time, I'm going to say a veteran IGL, really can elevate this team, especially with a player as hot as Lake individually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a really good point again. Like I was going to say, like kind of that trio that came from Carpe Diem. Lake is the player, like statistically, that is the best, right? I mean, his overall is a 1.18. He does have some of the highest impact. His KPR is like pushing, a 0.76, which is a really good thing to see. Again, that's where we're going to have to wonder, we can be a little bit different with this group because he is quite above everybody else. Like the next closest person really is Walco, which we kind of, talked about. Is that, he can really bring the heat when he wants to, but it's a matter of like, are we going to get it today or we get it tomorrow? But I think for me, Lake's going to be one of the players to watch as well. And I think even on the other side too, Pineapple, I'm kind of thinking that, in my opinion, like Sacrifice seemed to be the best overall rated player in my opinion, just in terms of his rating, but also just kind of, the extra damage that he can bring to the server.
Yeah, I also want to say we can't sleep on Intra either. Intra's HLTV a bit lower, still respectable at a 1.11. But where he really shines is his overall impact. A 1.30 impact when the round gets down to the bitter end and you have to have somebody to clutch, much like Walco, you can find a reliable play in Intra. So if we can see him get set up properly on the likes of Fluffy Aimers, there's a chance there where they could flat back with a map own or perhaps find some early advantages. But again, we've set up our storyline. I think for the most part, the viewers can tell we are pretty bullish on Carpe Diem in this matchup.
Yeah, that's definitely a point. And I think, let's talk a little about the veto too, right? Because now we know these are going to be commenced through the map picks, and obviously with it being a best of one, it is a winner takes all in that certain map. So it is going to be the first one as Vertigo. So that is going to be the interesting piece because again, both these teams, despite roster changes, it's not really, in my opinion, kind of the one to be bragging about, right? I mean, I don't think this is the map where, Carpe Diem had a history and pretty good on it, but I mean, I'm going to be curious if that's even going to be the case here because for Fluffy Aimers, it doesn't look like it is, but I feel like we can't just rely on the stats anymore.
Yeah, we can't. It feels like, especially because I think the last time Fluffy Aimers played was the last season. It's been like 4 weeks since their last HLTV level game. A lot of things could have changed, but the last time Fluffy Aimers played the map, they played close and they won it 13-7. That's a pretty solid performance on Vertigo, even if they don't play it often, and even if that was pretty much exactly a month ago to the day, January 14th, that still definitely can inspire fear. And it's curious because, as you mentioned, Carpe Diem saw that band down into it. I would be a little concerned just looking at the history on that for Fluffy Aimers.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing that's interesting too. Like you said, they got the win versus loss, but then they also got they took a loss versus the old Unjustified, which did have that trio of like Lake, Seb, and Arcade. So, and that was a dominant loss they took too. That was a 13-3. So Fluffy Aimers, it kind of makes me wonder what they've been able to work on and improve as a squad, but it has been some time since they played. So that is kind of the big question mark for us, I think, today, right? It's the first start of the season. We don't know what to expect here, but I think overall experience, that's why I think we both are kind of, putting that for as Carpe Diem, just given like, the experience and firepower that is on the roster, but we have to see if that's what they're going to be able to fulfill here for the first best one.
Yeah, that's the first best of one. Now for the second best of one, fans came through, and it ended on Inferno, a Counter-Strike classic, a decider classic, I would say, in best of threes, but of course this is no such scenario. Again, a second best of one. Gonna keep on highlighting that so people can get it through their thick skulls. Best of ones tonight, not one match, one series, two best of ones. Inferno as a second map is an interesting pick. Both teams have not the best records. I would say Carpe Diem's is far worse at a 1-5. A narrow loss, though, most recently wildcard 11-13 tells they're at the very least competent on the map.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that's the Fluffy Aimers having those two close games, like 13-11 and 13s. Like, okay, that can be one thing. Inferno is kind of one of those harder maps. I think, just to be able to, just like how, dominant it can be. But I guess if you want to talk about history, Carpe Diem, does have a pretty rough road, we can say, of history with this one. I mean, where they lost against like Wildcard Nouns, Party Astronauts, the list goes on. So, I mean, a couple of those games were quite close. So that's where, again, it's just a bit of a toss-up to see who's going to be able to bring the heat today. And I think that's where we talked about Lake being able to do some stuff, as well as like Intra, players like that. And that's going to have to really kick things off here for the beginning of the NA season.
Additionally, I just want to mention the way out, Inferno, a map played by Fluffy Aimers seldomly. They last played it 2 months ago. Their last victory was against Justified, which of course is what is now Carpe Diem. It was a very close victory, 13-11, but it's a victory nonetheless. I don't think there's too much that we can dig out of those two results on just given time between that last matchup 12-7 and of course roster changes that have occurred since then, but it's still an interesting thing to note in terms of history. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a little while until the game gets underway. We're going to go to a break, and when we return, we will have that first map of Vertigo between Fluffy Aimers and Carpe Diem. Stay tuned. We'll see you then. heights of the map. Under construction is where we start off the first best of the evening. Carpe Diem, the CT side. Dualies on both Lake and Seb. Super Soldiers at that. No kit present, and a rather aggressive play up towards A is the call for Intra, who's the spearhead for Fluffy Gamers.
Yeah, this is actually an interesting setup. They don't have the kit, so I mean, this is going to be a lot about firepower, a lot about them getting kills, but okay. Yeah, that nade's going to do a little bit worse here. So now the players are already going down. You can see the bombs about to get planted here. So Fluffy Gamers have got themselves into this site successfully with the man advantage here too. So now this is becoming a little bit of a problem here. This is the retake situation for Carpe Diem. And now, like you mentioned, with the no kit, time is dwindling here. They need to get moving quickly, because if they don't, this is an easy win here for Fluffy. And now Lake even missing these shots to Pineapple. This thing is falling apart, and it's falling apart quick.
It's falling apart at the seams, and Fluffy Aimers falling back, finding great success. Arcade and Seb, time of the essence, trying to stick it out of desperation, but Learcy will line them both up. Send them to bed. A good start for Fluffy Aimers, and we do have an interesting change in the rosters. Laz, I don't know if you're paying attention. The man we hyped up, Volko, not here. It's Micro in his stead.
Yeah, you know, I was gonna be honest. I was checking really quickly, and I was like, "Okay, is this right?" Like, I'm like, you know, like, what happened to Walco? Did he change his name, or like, are we playing mind games? But yeah, no, he's not here. So now, you know, that extra complexity of layer we were talking about, you know, with what unsure what's gonna happen. Yeah, I think it's got a little bit more interesting here for RPDM, and I don't know, maybe that prediction change.
I'm curious. I know Mr. Ryan and I have a history, but I'm not expecting him to sub in today, and that's a very critical substitution, not because Walco has a presence in the server individually, not just because of that, rather, but also because he's the IGL. He's one of the mainstay IGL in North America, and the fact that he's now gone, the head of Carpe Diem's gone, it's very worrying heading into this best of one sacrifice. Finding one, make that two actually in the round. Jason a third. The Tens are harvesting some cash. Micro's on low HP. Bombs hit the dirt. The question is, can Carpe Diem find a kill before the round concludes?
Yeah, it's unlikely though, too, right? Because I mean, even Seb had the most HP, so he's down. So yeah, this is going to be a wash unless there's an instant kill. But actually, good shots and damage. But yeah, just not enough at all. Fluffy Gamer starting this off really well, keeping the 5 alive. You love to see that, because now they can still kind of preserve the money. They can keep these MAC 10s afloat. So now this is where you would kind of see Fluffy Gamers being really aggressive, trying to put these MACs into full effect. Carpe Diem should be aware of this, but they put a full investment. But the utility, it's not bad, you know, Pineapple, but obviously it's not, considering how these rounds have gone for them.
It leaves me wanting, especially when you realize there's no kit.
Yeah, it's like, even, yeah, they actually had to go for the purchase of head armor, and that goes back into my point about the MAC 10s, right? If they don't have it, that could be even just quick kill for them. So that's why that sacrifice came in terms of the money. That's why there's no kits. So they're kind of resorting on, you know, the firepower once again. Didn't work the first time, but, you know, why not? Let's try it again.
More aggressive posturing and a more conventional up, perhaps, could prevent a bomb plant. Don't let the MAC 10s get close. That should be the name of the game. Micro towards side halt, smoke falling back, trying to haste their utility. What little remains as best as possible. Still got 3 smokes left and a couple Molotovs. Wiz being spammed, exchanging broadsides actually with Intra. It's a slow
talked a lot about Intra.
Hyping him up.
Oh, I mean, you gotta hype him up. He's top fragging right now with Learcy, and okay. There's Jason right now. Fully expect Micro. That nade queue could have maybe happened, but Micro's still playing aggressive. This is good, but now what's the question? Can he get out of this? Nope, he's a dead man. Now you can just see Fluffy Gamers. They still have just under a minute. Another gunfight.
Yeah, he's winning outright. 3 kills going the way of the rifles. The MAC 10s are there. It's a scary thump, but still it's the rifles doing the heavy lifting. Seb on the box. This is where Micro met his untimely demise in number 1, but there will be no such nade stack in this round. Bomb hits dirt. Seb and Arcade already calling it quits on this one as well. It's going to be a 3rd round for Fluffy Gamers, and some upgrades as well, perhaps, for Learcy specifically, who have an M4 get dropped rifle elsewhere.
Yeah, I like this. Yeah, and this is a good point you made, because again, like, for Carpe Diem, you have to keep these rifles. Like, it just, there's no other question to this, right? So this is a tough one, and Fluffy Gamers have really come out the gate really well. I'm not going to put this at a 3-0. He's going to be pretty terrible for Carpe Diem, so the question can be if they want to just, like, work around this with a force. or maybe just go light on the pistol to work around that as much as possible. But now Arcade and Seb are the kind of the two ones driving this from CT side to see what they can. This is where they need to pull up a multi-kill round to see what they can bring back. And yeah, Fluffy Aimers are doing some pretty basic stuff right now, but looking really good.
It is. They're putting the rifles at the forefront in that round. Very important start to edge out the M4s. The one-shot headshot proves to be too influential. Carpe Diem now needs to do the same. They're going to half-buy around the rifles, put the rifles at the forefront, let them get recovered if they fall, and try to find openings with them. Wiz saving a bit of extra cash in the bank, presumably for an op going into the next rifle round. I like the call. Seb, that is a flubbed grenade if I've ever seen one. What's the call, though, for Fluffy Aimers? They've not met too much resistance. They've had a rather easy go at it thus far in this map, Vertigo. They continue to do more of the same, it appears, so slowing things down, though, hoping that Carpe Diem start to show some desperation.
Yeah, and even the CT's kind of aggressing for like this. This is a good call. Sacrifice, you can just nice little bit of a sliver. Oh, look at that shot. Wiz is already gone, he moved, and these guys are just trying to swing together as a unit. But yeah, this thing's getting Kaiba pretty quickly now. Not really a big investment of a player. I mean, that's not one of the rifles. It's only the pistol that drops. But now, I mean, Fluffy Aimers have so much intel. Lake might be able to catch a player off guard here if his timing's right. Oh, Lake, go!
No, still got some time. Here's the steps. They don't know he made it down. Intro, though, already making inroads. Leadership finding a second. The windows of opportunities rapidly closing. They're going to be watching the flank here in the next 10 seconds or less. They're already weary about the side hall as well. They're actually going to double back and hope that that player middle is going back towards the ramp, but that is not the case. Seb on an M4, Lake on a 5.7. Where was the second rifle dropped? I'm not too sure, but I think it's probably well out of reach for Lake.
Yeah. I don't think it's readable. I mean, Lake actually does pick up that pistol. Okay, there we go. Make me eat my own words. Why not? But it's a question of Blake can even stay alive here, too. The Molly's going to burn some time, which is good. Waiting things out. I mean, Fluffy Aimers, they can hunt this, too. I mean, they don't really have to worry too much. Their money's looking really good. This is going to be better now with 4 in a row. Yeah, this is good pacing that we're seeing from them. And pretty impressive. I mean, again, we talked about Nate, like, typically, like, for history of Aimers, and again, asterisks with the rosters, but T-side was kind of the name of the game with a 51.9% win rate on it. But again, it's hard to say just because of the roster shuffles that we've had too, right?
Yeah, definitely hard to say. Wiz, excuse me, does have the wand in hand. He saved a little bit of extra cash in that round. He had only USP, so he can bring a rifle here. We have a kit. We have helmets across everybody, but one arcade that might come back to bite you, given that there are some M4s for Intro and Learsy. To see exactly what transpires, but again, I'll lean towards it with 3 players. Wiz lining up the flash for some info. Intro, though, not really trying to peek, just waiting and hoping that, again, break the end aggressive. Peek from Lake towards side halt. Exchange some damage, but he takes more than he deals. Intro down to 47, Lake down to 16. Now just throwing utility to try and keep them at bay, but Fluffy Aimers are keeping all avenues open, both A and B, middle as well as being watched. Just stock standard defaults that have yet to be punched for Fluffy Aimers.
Yeah, it's still early on in the season too, so that's what we're kind of just seeing very, standard PS right now. These guys are just getting really big feels. It's just a lot of default you talked about, but it's working for Fluffy Aimers right now. I mean, they're doing a great job just finding the duels, winning them. I mean, even right now, you can see that Seb's just kind of on the back of tall box right now, but Jason got some good ground, but the M4 is going to do one a little bit better. But now, more to the party. Bomb's actually going to make its way. Seb, I don't know if he actually spotted. He does. Ooh, dangerous. Oh, man, another one. Oh, man.
The board is there. So good. Arcade is already ready and waiting. The bomb going first gives away the play outright. Pendulum does find one by the flames. Arcade is playing a game. Comes out on top. Sacrifice of the gods. Not if he can offer something. He finds the first of 3 with 15 seconds left on the timer. He has to get a move on. He has to get a move on now. Back, one on sight. Micro. White Swing King finds the headshot. AK will be recovered. The op, however, will not be. Oh, it is. The timer is longer than I would have expected.
Yeah.
Up is recovered and Carpe Diem themselves on the board, but 3 players lost is a significant hamper to their money. They're going to have to sacrifice a bit of utility. Maybe not, actually. Looks like they might enough.
And I was thinking about it too, like, you know, a tough situation with the time too, being in a 1-on-2 lap with 15 seconds. But I was thinking, like, he had an opportunity. He could have picked up that off, threw it off the map if he really wanted to, because then that investment just would have been depleted, right? But thought he maybe won it, but gets out dueled. And yeah, so Carpe Diem finally gets into that round, really much needed. And finally, that goose egg's removed. So that's something good for them. Get a little bit of sigh of relief in the moment. But again, like you said, man, Wiz is the guy that has to be on the hot seat right now. We have to see what he can bring with the AWP, and that's going to be the difference maker, in my opinion, on this.
I can't wait to get active. Rather passive. Is it to find any major inroads in this map? Set Arcade, again, this duo towards B. They're rebuking what is a early lean towards the stairs. I see a lot of interesting smokes. That one's kind of common, but I don't know if you saw it. I think it was 2 rounds prior at the ramp. The smoke towards the top. It lands on the lip, like on the other side of the wall from side hall from Ivy. It's a very interesting smoke. It covers the opping angle up top on the walkway.
Yes.
Let's see this right now. Micro already falling back to Optus towards side hall. It needs to be careful. Wiz taking some chip damage, missing a shot, but he's still in the round.
And this is good too, because now Fluffy Aimers, what they've done is made a lot of noise, and Carpe Diem has burned a ton of their utility. I mean, we have 1 molly and 1 smoke remaining, and that's on Lake, and he is nowhere in this site. So right now, Fluffy Aimers are going to get ready for the execute. They got 25 seconds, so they got to get moving now, and they're just going to brute force this together. Just rifle cross, double smoking, so hold things off, and takes down Arcade. Looks for more, maybe, yes, and there it is. It's a full cleanup. BCT's now a big shoe to see if they want to go for this or to fall back. But Wiz, he's playing in Diem territory. This is a 2-on-5, Nate. This is a situation they got to get out of here. Surely they're not going to keep contesting this.
You got Ty's issue is they're going to be hunted. They can't just run away because then Fluffy Aimers will be right on their heels. Wiz supports Micro. Micro supports Wiz, just falling back as best they can, trying to survive or at the very least do damage on the way out.
Oh, that
boost. Up, though. So up from head, knowing that angle is being held. Micro will grab up again, trying to head for the hills. Truly does like the Alamo at this stage, and that shot does not connect. Sacrifice takes him down. Learseek gonna grab the op. Thinking about it, contemplating it, but no. They'll leave that op on the ground, that sniper rifle on the ground. 5-1, Fluffy Aimers isolate the single round win for Carpe Diem. They win another one convincingly. It all starts with a triple opening through the top and outright through the smoke towards the generator.
Yeah, that's a good call too. I mean, again, a bit of a detail, but like not picking up the AWE here for Fluffy Aimers, I like it because they can just resort in the rifles. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And now they're sitting at a 5-1. This is a good start for them already. This is a huge potential. They can get themselves a 6, bare minimum for the half, and already making a ton of noise right now. You can see this. And now Carpe Diem, they're going to get a little bit desperate. Even Wiz, look at this. He's going to push through on the right. He might get the time of this. Oh my goodness. He somehow does some damage, but now things are looking a little interesting. The man advantage is still for Carpe Diem. And Nate, what is going on?
It's chaos. Not even Carpe Diem knows what's going on. They have to call a pause. Micro has a hero rifle. They have some pistols and some Kevlar. It's a 4v1.
What?
The Arcade gets a double with the 5-7. And maybe an awkward buy and some gusto plays is exactly what the doctor ordered. Carpe Diem showing a bit of chaos. Sacrifice no 1 versus 4. He's found the first try, second shadow, but it's not expect the second. Oh my goodness! Sacrifice cracks it open wide. That should not be an angle he can unseat. He finds the second and the 180 onto the third. The last alive is that hero rifle of Micro, and he's on low HP. He'll slink forward. Does he get the duel? Yes, he does. He brings it back from the brink, but what looked like a convincing run at long last to help stabilize his economy is instead a tight-knit victory with a clutch from Micro.
Yeah, okay, we talked about this in the pre-show. We were like talking to, okay, firepower, who's going to show up today. I don't even know how Sacrifice wins a situation like that. That's a 3-player stack on the right, on the left, and in straight in front, and somehow was able to win that exchange, and it just within the seconds, and almost brought that into what was that, a 1-on-4?
It was a 1-on-4.
Absolutely insane.
Oh.
That is absolutely insane. But again, great work coming in here for Carpe Diem. It was really scrappy. I mean, around again on paper, I was saying they probably weren't going to win, but they do. So they'll take it. But man, it is just not looking pretty right now for them. So we'll see if they can kind of convert themselves back. I mean, we're in round 8 already.
Yeah, well past the halfway point at this stage. 2/3, 66% of the way through this first half.
Ooh, the ops out too, though. This is actually a good change. So this is the first time that Gamers have actually brought out the wand, as he called it. So it's off and off duel. This is the first time we've seen it now officially in this map.
The astute observation.
Yeah, we'll try.
We haven't seen a lot from the op in general. Liz has found 1 kill while running away.
Yeah, that's true.
Pendulum was just owning with a rifle. So we've seen nothing from the ops. Granted, Vertigo's not known for op necessarily, besides like ramp in the middle occasionally. And that's like from your aggressive ops like Junior and the likes. And Wiz is not known to be aggressive oppers. So that makes sense. Maybe we'll see more of it from Pendulum on the second half. But right now it is a quick map for the snipers for sure.
Yeah, and Fluffy Gamers are, I mean, there's already 35 seconds left remaining in this too, so a lot of time been burned. So Fluffy Gamers have to kind of make this decision. They get a lot of real authority now. You can see they're on the ramp. They're going to start to throw a lot of the utility. Carpe Diem, though, do have 3 players available on this, but they have to get moving now. You can already see Lucy getting himself close by. Doesn't have the bomb control yet, but he's going to get caught on the ledge, and Lake, a nice impactful kill. Bomb's trying to get Pent with the last 10 seconds remaining. And it's going to happen. Sacrifice. This could change everything, though. He might be able to go for the big backstab. This could be absolutely everything right now here for Fluffy Gamers. He does find that first. And look at this. Now he's a thorn in the side.
What? Op does not miss. Micro hits one. Lake unseats Pendulum towards ramp. His op can't really get a chance to shine. It is Carpe Diem now, finally getting into the driver's seat, finally finding their footing, keeping Fee alive, getting upgrades, keeping the rifle in play. Wiz finding a pair on op in a very unlikely situation. A retake is not where you want a sniper in hand, yet he still makes it work. Finally coming alive at critical juncture. This half is still, as we mentioned, over halfway gone, but still at the same time far from over. Neither team has a guaranteed advantage going into the second half. If Carpe Diem can just sweep these last couple rounds, they can emerge with a 7-5 advantage heading into the team.
Yeah, the momentum is definitely doing quite well here for Carpe Diem. They're starting to get themselves, it's really scrappy CS right now. Let's start things off for the beginning of the season, but I mean, it'll definitely be a good way for them to get themselves clawed back in this game. Only down by 2. Is finally putting a little bit of aggression, like you said, not known for it, but finally gets the start they need. And now Fluffy Gamers just kind of getting things out on the back of ramp. Late goes for big swing. He's really exposed. Gets punished for it too.
It's the first time it was outright duel being taken. Paladin is a player to watch. Carpe Diem as well. He's having a rather slow start as well. And able to really get the ball rolling. He's venturing out to grab some utility. Arcade is left up middle. He's walking back with some knife out. He needs to be careful. His mid flank has come to fruition in the round prior, and now potentially in this round as well. Sacrifice lining up utility actually towards the ladder instead. Saw Fluffy Gamers do this before, kind of just waffle between the 2 sites, showing some presence and then falling back. So it's going to be more of the same in this round.
Yeah, another barrel in, Jason. Pushing in a little bit, but actually does get taken out. Set now, just needing to be an anchor. Just need to buy time, but it is a one and done here. Nate's trying to fly through from Fluffy Gamers. That bomb needs to get planted. Arcade here from the top. A nice spam on the corner of the smoke. Lead us down to 2. Oh, Learcy, that's so filthy! Finds 2 more. Why not? Leaving it just down to the upper by himself now. Let's see what you got, Wiz. Show us what you're made of.
Show us what you got. 1v2, op in hand. Fluffy Gamers have given him a way out, though. If he can get quick with it, give us a bit of gumption, push into the site. There's only 1 player here. The second one's very far. In fact, I think Pendulum might actually be disconnected. This is a 1v1 for Learcy. Driving smoke on site. Does he expect this corner? He has to know it's a possibility. Perhaps fakes. Learcy walks into the smoke, knife in hand. He made some steps, though. that Wiz? I'm not sure. Wiz takes a shot, doesn't get it. It's the knife for BM. The left, right is what it needs. Learsey gets the kill. I believe the clutch as well because of a disconnect. And at the very least secures a tied 6-6 going into the second half, potentially even more given the lackluster economy for Carpe Diem.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, yeah, we can hear a couple noises. Yeah, and I was thinking that too. I was like looking at him like, hey, yeah, it's 1-2, but Learsey's by himself. Like, where's his teammate? And I'm like, oh yeah, he's gone. Yeah, he's definitely gone. But huge work from Learsey though. Honestly, like just able to put up so much control in that. You know, took so much space on his own and got the bomb down, went for the clutch. You know, put a pressure on there. So that was honestly the Learsey show right there. And that was somebody I was kind of wondering, you know, how well they can be in this game, and he so far is really impressing me. This is a good start. Already set 101 for an ADR, which is pretty nice. I mean, the highest is sacrifice. I mean, still thinking about that 3K. So gross.
Yeah, still can't even get across the line there. Team showing tremendous depth for Fluffy Aimers, more so than I would have expected. We talked about intro, we talked about sacrifice. Learsey, though, not really expect pop-off from him. Individually, he is the worst performer in the last 3 months for his team. He's finding a solid success. However, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a brief break due to this tech pause. When we return, we will have the continuation of Carpe Diem and Fluffy Aimers. Stay tuned. We'll see you then. All right, straight back into the act. No ifs, and or buts thrown in. Again, Pineapple Phillips and Laz on the mic. And a half buy on the cards for Carpe Diem. Blake on the one primary weapon, that MP9. Got too big for his britches. Caught by Pendulum through the edge of the smoke. Good start. The pistol should not fare much better. Lucy combines fire for a second. Seb and Micro, we've seen this crossfire before. It did not work the first time versus Sacrifice, but maybe they can right their wrongs here with this one. Micro and Seb. It's very potent. Can't get caught unawares. Good flash in. Seb, though, did not spring the trap quickly enough. Learcy and Jason hold their ground. Just whiz. Skill cannon in hand. It's a deagle. While he is saving for an op in the following, Fluffy Aimers should get themselves a guaranteed advantage from this round. Yep, a 7th round secured. Only 2 left in the first half. Things are looking very good their T side.
Yeah, really impressive. It is like I said, it was not a high win percentage on the T side, but nonetheless, it's starting to kind of look like stats are playing into that effect right now. Going into round 11, and Fluffy Aimers have taken this half. I guess my question will be how much bigger they can do that. Carpe Diem. Now it's a bigger here with Wiz with the all out again. Full utility across the board. For the most, Arcade kind of looking a little lackluster in terms of it, but at least he's got 2 of the main pieces he needs right now. So we'll have to see what's going to happen a little bit differently from Carpe Diem. I think they've been trying some good variation. Like they've been trying to play a little bit, microaggression, re-aggressing for that map control when they can. But that's always kind of worrying part too when you're in a deficit like this. You get a little bit nervous to really go for a fight, but Lake, sure, he's going to win that fight, takes down Intra, and that's a really good start already.
Best start that could be asked. I'm trying to find Pendulum. Might just hit him as the smokes fade. Nope. Giving away so easily. I can lie in the second half, though, for Carpe Diem. Again, IGL missing. Your side's already suffering, and where you really need your IGL is that T side.
Yeah.
The fact that he's gone and they're already struggling so much does not instill confidence.
Wasn't Mama Wall in the chat? Like, she hanging around? What's going on? Where is he? Where's Walko? Tell us all
sauce. Need the sauce.
Yeah, tell us the deets. We need the deets.
Lord.
Oh, my.
On the this side. He's actually cut corner. Good trade from Lake, but enough. All 3 remaining players are here, pressuring the ramp. Lake will negotiate a crossing back towards the lobby, staying alive, setting up for a potential retake. Fluffy Aimers going to have to win this by attrition. They have 1 flash left, and that's all to speak of in terms of utility, and the bomb plant has yet to even be attempted.
Yeah, nice kill coming in from Jason, too. So Ed may be able to find this timing, right? I mean, there's 17 seconds, and they're just getting the plant through. Wiz finally getting that to sing just a little bit. It's a bit of a humming, but Sacrifice able to take down the flank now, so that threat's been removed, but he's down to 15 HP. This could just be the end. There it is. Oh, he still gets shot off before he goes.
A full running headshot on the way out is a little bit concerning. Actually, it might have tremendous knock-on effects. 2 alive is rather difficult for CT economy, given where the money's at. 1 alive is even worse. Sure, Wiz at least to save the op. They have to drop a rifle, and another 2 are probably going to be on SMGs or from us. Definitely far from ideal heading into the last round of this first half. Micro pulling out the MP9. What is 7 to go for? That's an equally interesting question. It's going to be an MP9 for Arcade and Seb, actually. Not for Micro. They'll save their rifles instead. Buy's okay, all things considered, but still a hefty advantage for Flamers and a chance for them to double their opponent's scoreline in the first half.
Yeah, this could be such a big lead for Fluffy Aimers. Like you said, I mean, this is already looking so good, and the fact that now the biggest question is going to be Carpe Diem on the T side, but if they can be able to find this round for them, that could be a nice little bit of motivation moving into the second. Op's still out, but it's MP9s. Again, the kits are pretty much non-existent. There's 2 available, but you would want a little bit more. But that MP9 probably only gets the 1 kill. Not really inflicting much more than that. Arcade was in such a good position. The nades are starting to come through. Seb now looking like he wants to swing here with the hammer. But look at how much he's getting pushed already.
Oh. You don't want to fight the runs. You know how crazy they are with smokes. Larry just spams 1. Seb good for 1, but only 1. And Wiz, there we go. Finally finding a shot with the op. Bringing it to even footing. Pendulum, though, he has an op of his own. He's looking to avenge his comrade. Instead, he is caught. Lake. Dancing around Jenny. 1v2 for Fluffy Gamers. Jason looking to find something. Wizard's post on the angle, though. Crossing still secured for Jason, but he wants a duel. He doesn't want a 1v2 post plant. He wants to find even footing. He will finally put the bomb down. Free up the smoke. A very awkward spot. Win against the Oppa 1v1. Now where's Lakey? Here's the steps. Jason has the information. The AK in hand. The shot. Awkward duel, but he does find the head. 8-4 for Gamers as we head into the halftime break.
As well, 2 rounds. Yeah, I can't even do math, and that's why you don't do math on air. And here we are, Fluffy Aimers, 9-5.
9-5. They split the 2 rounds. Again, it would not be a North American ECL broadcast without every single technical problem under the sun.
That's true.
Apologies for that, but you know it happens.
It does
Fluffy
happen.
Aimers 9-5. They lost that second round, so they did not convert the piss round, from what I can tell, from what I gather. Or Diem though, I was saying mixed bag to start things off, but they bring things back in a tremendous fashion. Just Intra, a player I highlighted, an impact player, but a 1 versus 4 5-7 seems nigh impossible. Yep, with a very niche angle, tight angle to get the kill. 4 players surviving for Carpe Diem, and a very swift start to try and right the wrongs that was the first half. Keep in mind it was a 4-8 in favor of Fluffy Aimers. Now a very nice scoreline of 6-9, still in favor of the Fluffy Aimers, but Carpe Diem have a hefty amount of momentum now behind them with those 2 rounds in a row secured. They have the economy behind them, and they are also facing a very easy round ahead. They save from the side.
Yeah, and I kind of hope that we see Seb get some big multi-kills here. I mean, get that max 10, get that money flowing. Micro's now going to lead charge here to see what he can find, and he's about to find a full bear trap. This is going to be terrifying. Flashes might save him a little bit. Pistols come out, and they're just doing more damage, and they're somehow still alive. I don't know what is happening. And it's another NA round, baby. They're just able to clean up the house, making it a 4-on-2, and they've now been able to pick up 3 weapons.
3 weapons and the bomb. Important to note the bomb. This could have been recoverable for Carpe Diem if they had that precious piece of cargo. Now they are faced with one of their own smokes thrown by an adversary. That gives Carpe Diem a very tough task ahead. The Aimers could steal away the momentum with a round like this. It was 4 players surviving and recovered rifles. That will move their economy astronomically. Molotov thrown to buy yet more time. Under a minute now left on the clock for Lake and Arcade. Others had a terrible map thus far, but they haven't had stout performances either. Like, forward, look at the bomb. Spot that though. Learcy will know. They should swing because of that. They actually line up. That almost gives them a way back into it. Lake and Arcade find one of, but numbers do prove to be reason Fluffy Aimers steal away the round. 2 AKs recovered, a win on a save round, and what momentum was built for Carpe Diem has now come tumbling.
Yeah, and this was the big thing we talked about for anybody that, you know, is a little bit of a TLDR. I mean, this is the thing where, you know, Carpe Diem, they don't have Walco, which Micro's filling in right now. So we talked about that IGL role for someone like Walco. So we were wondering how the T side could be. I mean, they have been able to pick up, you know, a little bit of scraps arounds here, but around like that, man, that is just going to be a bit devastating right now for a team like this. They're trying to make the comeback, and they're down by 4, but there's a little investment into this, so we'll see what they can do. And use this, Nate. This could be a little scary.
Or a little scary. The first map's done and dusted. I guess the only map in this best of 1. 2 best of 1s, not a best of 2. Right, 10 for Seb. It's gonna struggle. AK's in good utility, gives Carpe Diem a chance. The issue is they have next to no map control to show for it. We're at a minute 12, minute 10. Just resting on their haunches here. Seb will slowly begin to tease away stairs control, but there's still players holding. Should he press? Carpe Diem finally making the play to slowly take ramp control. Fluffy Aimers more than happy to give away at this point.
Ooh, that's a good nade, though. Really good damage here, and Lake's already down to 66. But now I want to see the flash come in. This could be big for Intra. He needs to be able to find the swing, but actually it's going to be his teammate that says they win this duel. And the key coming in from Wiz, nicely done. And these exchanges are coming back and forth, just the one-on-one trades. And oh, this is just awkward. And now Carpe Diem, man, they have Tuckle and they're out of here. They don't even want to contest this. So now look at this, Nate. They're just going right for the B site.
Straight up and in. 4 versus 4 was a retake setup for Fluffy Aimers. Jason as well will get control of Jenny rather quickly. A lot of control taken. Combined fire finds 1. Good trade from Arcade, but the bomb has yet to go down. 10 seconds left, and the player carrying it has been dropped. Learcy doubling. Almost a triple. Arcade, 6 seconds left. At this point, they just hide. Fluffy Aimers have the round. Lang has to come through. Arcade trying to fight for pride at that point, but he can't even find any such respite. Not a single kill there in the final seconds of the round. Pendulum and Sacrifice take it. 11-6 for Fluffy Aimers. 2 rounds away from putting the first map to bed.
Yeah, this is where a lot of that pressure comes in, right? I mean, look at the money situation. That bomb plant not coming through, so this is actually, I feel like that was a tough decision. I don't know if he would have gotten it down. Like, I know you were saying Arcade, you know, fighting for pride, which I think he kind of was. But that would have been really close for him to get that bomb plant, but I don't think he would have had it. Now it's just going to be pistols. Tech 9s are just going to bombard this ramp. Just going to try to see what they can do. Maybe a bit of a gimme. Lake with a nice spinner, but it's only just one. And now these CTs are starting to clean up the feed, leaving to Arcade with a Glock. Nothing else. Pretty cool skin, though. 5,200 kills on that. That's pretty good. Not bad.
It's a cool skin, but oh my god, it's scarred.
Yeah, that thing is beat. Kind of like the scoreline, you know what I'm saying? Ayo.
I think the skin's a little worse. I hate to say it. Well, the scoreline is dismal, at least a 6. Clock can't do anything. 12 secured for Fluffy Gamers. Map point on the first. Again, the second map tonight will be Inferno, for those of you wondering. Again, 2 best of 1s. 2 best of 1s, not a best of 2. No third map wings if we split maps. It's 2 best of 1s.
I feel like we, I think we sold that pretty good.
We did, but I'm going to hammering it home.
I just feel like we're going to see someone say in the chat, like, hey, is this a BO2? And then we're going to be like, are you kidding? You said it's 2 best of 1s.
It's 2. We're very clear with you.
Very clear.
It'll be our first time chatting too, and we'll be really rude. Just shut up for the first time.
Well, a lot of work, Carpe Diem, though. 6 rounds in for overtime, and this is not a great position for them at all. Oh, that nade. Oh, that nade! Oh, it's so good. So thick. And now the molly on top, too. Oh, Nate, this is just worse to wear.
Hey, there might be some information. They've taken some damage, but the round is still far from over. Intra's also tagged down on this side of the equation. Lake as well, able to find the nope. Finally, through the smoke, he'll find Pendulum. And then finally with him again. Carpe Diem just resting, waiting, not really pushing too aggressively. The Gamers are making the exact wrong read at the exact wrong time. Falling back off of A as Carpe Diem wrap back around just a little too late on the call. It's the CT side. 40 seconds left. Carpe Diem have to get a move on. They have 1 smoke. That's it. A Molotov and some flashes. It's not enough to fully block off sightlines into the site. The plan's contested. At least it should be. There we go. Sacrifice finds 1. Here's E-footing going into the retake.
Yeah, good position coming in from Carpe Diem now. So this is going to be about how well Fluffy Gamers can take this. There is some good utility. They still have enough smoke and flash available. Players here from Carpe Diem are just going to be posted on the ramp. But Fluffy Gamers, they got to get going here. The time is well past over half now. The first frag coming in from Jason, going to be able to things off. They do have the kits here from all players alone, but it's a matter of them getting find more duels. Players on ramp, and it's going to be Arcade able to free, and Carpe Diem stay alive again.
Save off the ending of the first match, albeit briefly, so a long and tenuous journey that I'm sure is going to be touch and go if they make it feasible. 5 rounds in a row is what's required, with no rounds going the way of Fluffy Gamers to get to overtime. Fluffy Gamers at the end of their economic rope, however, reinvesting everything. They have 4 A1Ss, a 5.7, decent utility. Carpe Diem, though, making some concessions as well, namely Lake on the Galil rather than the AK.
Yeah, and Carpe Diem switching up their game plan a little bit. Not bad, not bad. And now Jason is playing aggressive. And I was thinking he maybe could get out of this situation, but instead, kind of still putting pressure on this. Doesn't even back off. And this could be scary. They swing 1! He's almost able to find 2 in that kind of a situation. He shouldn't have been able to find 1 to begin with.
Yeah, an assertive call is not respected. Carpe Diem should know that's a possibility. A very niche angle. Like 180 damage or thereabouts. Slow now for Carpe Diem as they're hoping that someone gets aggressive. Seb's pressuring towards B, hoping to draw the ire of Fluffy Gamers. Always an Arcade, perhaps pull something off in the middle. The issue is Pendulum is still waiting. He's tucked in a corner, nothing to lose with just a 5.7 in it.
Yeah, one of these players. I mean, Arcade was able to find himself that triple. But can he do it again? And 5.7 right behind the sandbag. But do they clear it? That's going to be the thing. Oh, he actually swings this. So now that Mult's going to just burn him alive. Doesn't really get him, but the AK will. Arcade by himself. 1-on-3, Nate. Survival now with 28 seconds. Doesn't have the bomb, and these players are split apart. This is a good opportunity for the one-on-ones.
The setup gives him an opportunity, but the HP makes it very difficult. There's a player on B, there's a player now towards A, waiting for a bomb plant there. Arcade should be spotted on this cross. 10 seconds left to throw Molotov. This player's on the double stack. There's no way it's expected. Arcade still gets the spot, does get the kill. 5 seconds. Arcade get the plant. I think he has it. Somehow they've made something this round, Carpe Diem. Just at one player. He was over towards A just in case the wrap came through. Sacrifice. Top frag, or tied as a top frag for the team with Learcy. Arcade is still low. This is recoverable. 1v1. Knows where he's coming from. The angle's held, but he doesn't pull the trigger. Sacrifice does him in by virtue of the HP disparity. And despite a rather different end, Fluffy Aimers do get across the line 13-7 on the first map of the evening.
Yeah, big win here for Fluffy Aimers. You love to see it. I mean, they able to come in with a strong first half, like we talked about that 8 point, and then it's just kind of full speed ahead. And oh, look at it, we almost got it. Well, I'm you, and you're gonna be me. But either way, I'm happy with how it went. I mean, different than what I think our prediction was. But at the same time, like Fluffy Aimers, they showed us a pretty strong vertigo, and honestly, it was pretty basic, but it worked.
It was stock standard vertigo. When that can't be countered, it honestly shows more concern in the camp of Carpe Diem than it does concern for Fluffy Aimers. Fluffy Aimers held their lines. They showed a good depth individually as well, with Intra, Learcy, Sacrifice all finding their footing very well for Fluffy Aimers. Again, prediction kind of has to be taken out of the picture from our end, just given the fact that Walco's not here. I think that's rather unfortunate that he's not in the server, but I'm sure there's reasons. Again, missing your IGL on that T side specifically hurts, especially when you're down 4-8 heading into that second half. But now leaves a lot of questions for me, honestly. This felt like the map where Carpe Diem should have been favored. 5-2 record versus a 1-1 record, if you really want to use the stats. Map 2 and Inferno is a very different affair. Sure, everybody knows how to play it. Everybody knows the utility for the most part. But it's a map where Fluffy Aimers indeed win the last head-to-head. And, of course, Carpe Diem have a rather lackluster record at 1-5.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to have that MVP of the match come up here just on the screen as well. So I feel like I have my prediction in my head, but we'll wait and see. This is going to be a surprise for us as well. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. No, that's my MVP. That's my MVP. I chose him. I chose him. He was my MVP. It was Swisher. I knew it. We both said prior to the show, ooh, we have an MP screen. This is exciting. We're going to just have a surprise game, and I thought sure that we would be able to tell who the MV would be for each map. Not the case. I feel like a lot of players, Fluffy Aimers, could have rightly had that MP title. Players neck and neck, Learcy and Sacrifice specifically, both being neck and neck for the likes of Fluffy Aimers. So really, I don't know who the MVP was in my eyes or in the stats.
Yeah, no, I agree, because I kind of feel like it's either player for me, right? I mean, I think Sacrifice was able to have the top fragging in the entire server, but I don't think that paints the full picture, right? Because we even saw that one round where Learcy was able to get that 1-on-3, I think it was, and that was by himself, and his teammate was disconnected, and he had to do everything. He had to fight duels, get the bomb down, reposition, keep fighting. So he literally did everything. So I mean, the numbers were just not there, but I'm curious, when we can bring things over a little bit later, because I think both those players were really impactful. And like you said a bit earlier on, like Learcy, for me, I wasn't expecting to see him do quite well in this. I mean, he's not like the individual performer. Like, his stats are quite lower considering his team. But, I mean, he did phenomenal today. And, I mean, he definitely came up to play.
Not just today, but that first map. We still have more to go. Keep that in mind.
True. Yes.
And also, you said Learcy, not necessarily that player you look at individual. He's the last player you look at individual. I'm going to be harsh. I'm going to say the reality is he has the worst stats by far on his team. 0.86 AV rating in the last 3 months. The next closest is Jason at 0.94. He was kind of more in line with those stats in that first map. But Learcy specifically is the hard bottom. He is the support for this team upon which the groundwork is laid. And he was one of the stars in this one. And that bodes very well for Fluffy Aimers heading into that second map of Inferno.
Yeah, so just so you guys know, like we said, I think we've said this a few times, but we're going to say it again just because we want to make this very clear. 2 separate best of one. So we have finished first now. We are going to take that bit of a break. I go into the second one, which is another best of one that is going to be on Inferno. Both these teams knife for the side, so making it very fair to see who gets what side they want. So we are going to take that bit of a break as we get locked and loaded here for the second best one. We'll see in a bit.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We just saw the conclusion of the first best of one of two best of ones this evening between Fluffy Aimers and Carpe Diem. I am Pineapple Phillips. That is Laz. Am I pointing the right direction? I hope so. No, the wrong way. That way. That way is Laz. Name still flipped. Don't worry. As we said, everything in North American ECL will go wrong. The question is when and if it will be fixed, because honestly, it's a lot of work. We're just going to roll with the punches as we always do. But again, to recap the overall atmosphere and mood of this set of games thus far, Fluffy Aimers and Carpe Diem. Fluffy Aimers coming out the gate swinging harder than we would have expected, showing us more depth than we would have expected. And adding on to that, Carpe Diem missing their IGL in that first map, Woko being replaced by Micro, leads to a very interesting ups in my mind, with Fluffy Aimers taking the victory 13-7 on Vertigo.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think, it's a really obvious thing to say. I think, the fact that they, for Carpe Diem, they losing Walco is a huge effect, right? I mean, you losing your IGL. So you've lost the structure. It's hard for any player to kind of come in and, be a temp and be like, hey, guys, let's do some of these strats we know. But that's the thing. Your times are off. The executions can be off. And I think we got to see that a little bit. But, I mean, I also want to, give a little bit here for Fluffy Aimers, too, because I think came in swinging. Like, their firepower is something to really take note of. A lot of surprises that I'm expecting, and I don't think you were either. So I made a good statement here for the first best of one to start things here for season 47. And now it kind of makes me think that they have everything in the ability to make this a 2-0 tonight.
To be 1-0 and 1-0.
1-0, 1-0.
Best of ones,
two W's for the night.
Make it
that's
very clear.
What I mean.
Make
yes,
it we've been told to be very clear.
We are clear.
Ones. Two best of ones. Not a best of two. Not a best of 3. There's no third map in the wings. They banned all the way down to Vertigo and then Inferno in 2 separate vetoes. But yeah, I agree. It's tremendous depth for Fluffy. Coming out of spots that we would not have expected. Again, we highlighted at the end of that first map. Leadercy specifically shining an individual in spite of a rather difficult last 3 months. Intra Sacrifice kind of expected to do what they did, but still very encouraging to see them find success against a team with some veteran players like Carpe Diem. On the side of Carpe Diem, again, not much can be said because they're missing their IGL. I will say, if there was a substitute to find in a short notice or in this, a reasonable amount of time, Micro is probably the best you can find. I know he brings very good team chemistry rather quickly with his I don't want to say childlike whimsy, but he has a lot of whimsy for sure. And his overall calm and collected demeanor. He has a lot of experience. I think he can IGL to a decent degree as well, but of course, slotting an IGL is never going to be ideal.
Yeah.
So I think they made the best substitution they could have, but again, missing the critical piece, your team is going to hamper you immensely no matter who you're going against.
Yeah, and that's saying, right? I mean, it like I said, it seemed like a really obvious point, but again, it just kind of shows like what the IGL can do, right? I mean, and that's where we talked about Walco can bring a lot of firepower as an IGL here in NA as well, but also we've seen some good foundation that he can bring into this. And I think Micro did a good job. Like, that's not to discredit anything that he brought into the server, but it just adds that layer of problems here for Carpe Diem, because we were wondering, we both kind of had them as our prediction to say, yeah, they're probably the team that could win this if they had the roster, but now things have been made up a little bit. But either way, and a map like Inferno, in my opinion, probably the hardest maps, just because there's so much technicality on the T side, despite it being CS2 and all those things. I mean, the last time these guys got that win was back early of January, and that was against Lost, but that was a close game, and again, that was the full roster, and ever since then it's been kind of just like the sea of red, right? Like, it's just been losses across. So this is not a good thing here for Carpe Diem.
It's not. We also do have an update as well. The chat, Mama Walco has confirmed that Walco will not be playing in this second map. That's an important update. You'll hear that about a good while after it appeared in chat, so you'll already definitely know if you're paying attention there. But I think it was important to note for the official broadcast if someone's watching later in time. But as you mentioned, yeah, map stats paint a rather dismal picture. Again, I'm going to cling to hope. Carpe Diem had a close match versus Wildcard at the beginning of February. It was an 11-13 loss. So maybe there's something that can be salvaged from that kind of performance, but we'll have to wait and see. And unfortunately, it looks like this match is going to take a little longer to start than we had anticipated. So we're going to go to another break, but when we return, we will have that map of Inferno. Stay tuned. We'll see you then.
Now Fluffy Aimers see what they can bring as well. I'm nervous.
I'm antsy. Carpe Diem starting on the T side this time around. Started on the CT side of Vertigo. What are the investments that we're going to see in this pistol round? Double dual super soldiers for Fluffy Aimers. Intra and Pendulum, the ones with those weapons. P250 for Lake, also a super soldier with sets of utility spread apart on Micro and Wiz. 2 smokes, a Molotov, and a flash sets up a very nice pop play in towards B. We have alert towards A and Arcade. He's in the halls, but it's too aggressive. Actually, he's in alt middle, excuse me. Play coming through short. There's 2 players here. It's Jason, it's Sacrifice. 2 USBs on the site, gonna have to use range to their advantage. Jason, a good start, but Arcade and Seb find kills in response. The lurk, and now both players on B unseated. The last one smoked off towards Coffin, trying to jump up, trying to find anything, but he won't find any respite. Intra is the last alive now. He had a solid first map, and he already has 1 on the board. He needs to find 3 more and a defuse to take this pistol.
Yeah, it's not easy at all. Okay, it's going to make it a little bit quicker, though, and these dualies, now they're starting to be able to find multi-kills. Oh, my goodness. Down to the 1v1 Arcade, coming all the way from CT spawn, and I think he might have just spotted Inch. This could be huge. Now he's clearing things up. He knows this player needs to be close on by, but doesn't have that kit. Sticking the defuse, and he's going to get slaughtered. But my goodness, man. I can't believe it came down to that situation again.
It's unreal. He might have still been flying for that second kill towards Dark. That was a crazy follow-up with the dualies. The first kill was already nuts. The second one was unreal. And he had an inkling, the right inkling eventually, about the play coming through from that lurk. The issue was he was a little too slow on pickup, a little bit too paranoid at the banana press late, and then a little bit too cocksure on the stick. He cleared out banana. Regardless, it was a nice attempt from the Aimers. Carpe Diem lucky to escape with that round. Again, tremendous individual performance, tremendous hat trick from Intra, who again is coming out the gate swinging in the second of 1.
Well, definitely costly, but now Carpe Diem are going to have these mollies out. He's going to have to get out of this. Is able to escape for now, but Max still getting close. Get that bracket control. Finally going to get picked up as well. Jason looked like he was kind of teasing this idea. Let's have the Zeus. All right, he's gone. He's a dead man. And no, their B site's going to be open. Carpe Diem, they're going to have this one in the bag, surely. And now you can see Fluffers are just kind of risking the the coin flip on this. And unfortunately, it was tails.
That's what you have to do with just pistols. Nothing invested it. Barring that, was there a Zoo perhaps for Jason?
He's trying to be Rops.
Trying to be Rops. The issue is this is online, also not Europe, and also ECL, and also at North America, and also not FaZe. So a lot of disparities. The Mac 10 hunting for something. Didn't live long though. Maybe a second kill before falling. Maybe a third kill before falling. Okay, he can be happy with that. Mac 10 relatively useless going into round number 3. Micro gonna try his hand at hunting now with an SMG, looking for one of the final 2. Pendulum and Pit. Clear C on sight. Mac 10 spamming. Wiz needs to be careful. Micro will get one. A second. Oh, he does get the 180. There are few 180s thus far in the series. The one that comes to mind is that 1 versus 4 to 1 versus 1 from Sacrifice on Vertigo. That one from Micro there in round number 2 here of Infernal. I'm not sure I'd call it, I don't know if it was a 180 or not, but the fast flick while flying on those dual pistol as well. A lot of flashy plays this evening.
Yeah, it's been definitely some big highlights in terms of some individual plays for sure. But like you said, I mean, I love that hunt though from Carpe Diem too. The fact that they actually just committed Mac 10s, get that extra money. I mean, that Mac 10 would have been really useless for the Fluffy gamers, but at the same time, nice that they can stat pad and get some extra coin. Why not? And they do still have Wiz and Lake here with the Mac Daddies and see what they're going to do with this. And Jason maybe going to get overwhelmed here. Doesn't look like a bit of an exchange, pretty much. 1 damage differential.
Did the Mac 10 do more damage in that range? That's crazy.
It did, which is kind of insane. Micro, hello? You are
doubling down. Both headshots. Shuts down Intra. Get it highlighted. Jason on the balcony has a lot to do. He has support at least, but don't have enough ammo between them. Jason another double in response. He's on for the ace despite the low HP. Lake can also go find an upgrade for his Mac 10. And Delirious a 1v3 with only an MP9. He can probably get that M4 towards Arch. But even then, it should be a save.
Yeah, this is definitely the right call. I mean, despite these players being really low, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense at all. So this is a good call right now coming in from Learsy. But some good work coming in from Carpe Diem, though. I mean, again, we talk about, the stats kind of paint picture a little bit, but typically for Carpe Diem, this isn't their best side being on T side. I mean, now they're going to be starting things off with a nice 3-0. That's a nice little bit of a buffer. But what do we see from the Fluffy Aimers? This is not going to be an easy situation because their money, let's be honest, it's not good. It's not great. It's not something you want to talk about. But do they force it?
That's what I want to talk about, and therefore I won't. I'm just kidding. They're going to try something to Pierce. Sacrifice going to the MP9. He could sell it. Might be a good time to use a timeout. Actually, the round following probably would be more ideal. I'm going to call it a half buy. Sacrifice still has 1050 in the bank. He's the lowest. There's at 1300, but everybody else sitting at or about the 2K mark. That means they can scrounge together something in the next. But ideally, they get a rifle or two here in this round. And either A, win it outright, or B, save it for the following. We'll have to see how they play their cards. Clearly taking point with the rifle. I respect it. All his teams have Kevlar, so they can pick up the rifle and try after he falls. Carpe Diem, the heavy lean towards Banana. Now Learsy's locked in and alone with
flash.
M4 in a corner. It's dropped. It's not recoverable, and that is disastrous. That's exactly what you don't want to see if you're a Fluffy Aimers player.
Yeah, that's such good utility work coming from Carpe Diem. That flash honestly opened everything up because you can see the player was just playing right behind Sadbag. The timing of that, you're just going to be kicking yourself right now if you're a Fluffy Aimer because those are the worst situations to be in. Trying to get some good groundwork, but you get punished for it. And now look at the positioning from the CTs. They have played the 2-1, and it's a deagle to kind of lock things here on Arch. Now actually retreat this and just go for the 3-player stun. It actually looks like it could be a good inkling on this. The ball's actually making its way. Carpe Diem, they're not going to really mess with us too, Nate. I mean, they're just going to commit as a group.
Right call from Fluffers. You have to gamble in a 3 versus 5, especially when your weaponry is less than ideal. Clean start, though, for a 11 point. Just going for contact. Micro, a double team kill. To find that one, Jason doesn't find anything to sandbag or from the coffins, excuse me, but you don't see a double team kill very often. Micro.
Nice. Just trying to bring the score down. Just trying to bring the score down, 7-1. Bring it down a notch.
I mean, technically, does it subtract kills for team kills in Faceit? It must.
I think, yeah, I believe it did. It should.
So is he at 11 kills now if you include both of his teammates?
Well, he's popping off. Almost in double digits for sure. But, all right. Big round, though. Ops out. We'll see what Fluffy Aimers, my apologies, can bring a little bit to the table for this one. And I mean, this is where we do see sometimes when the big green comes out, he can really open up a lot here. You're going to actually give up his position. But sacrifice. A nice little bit of a double through the smoke. Some good timing.
Their spam through smoke has been impeccable. It was the same on Vertigo, specifically towards B. Pendulum, you mentioned to the op, it was over towards an extremity. That was long haul. It picks hard at third. Wiz and Lake, the last pair. One is up Arch, into timing. But Fluffy Aimers know it's a possibility. You can see Sacrifice slowly clearing everything out. Second with the bomb on the back is Wiz. He's over towards Tree. Anna and Lake, not long for the world. Eyes up, taken down. The last alive is Wiz. And they know where he is. He threw a Molotov. They're all in closing him at this stage. Let's try to take a duel. Does find the first, but the rotation's already in. Trying to spam the smoke, but we know Fluffy Gamers have the spam down pat. You should not be long for this world.
Well, he's got the bomb down, which is huge. And now if these players go 1-by-1, this could be a little bit scary, but no, Sacrifice is going to get done. Nice round from him. That's a quad kill to this round to get themselves removed to the goose egg. And nice reaction coming in. And I mean, that was to start off with the double kill through the smoke. And that was a very interesting timing because they're just throwing a bit of utility, biding some time. But Carpe Diem, they just ran right into the crosshair, but plenty of cash. And now we're going to see that op going to be back on the field for these guys. We'll see what Wiz can bring on the T side Inferno op. Not always easy.
Rarely is easy. Seldom used. Especially an opera of Wiz's style. I wouldn't think he's too inclined to bring it out, yet here we are. Open hand. Challenge the likes of Pendulum. Like the call. Fluffy Gamers finally on the board, but can actually convert it into more, or will it be a flash in the pants? The big question. They did at least keep it convincing. Oh, they let the bomb plant down. Jason, I like this call. Aggressive with the op. Toe. Wiz, though, wins that. What a very interesting angle. Jason, though, will double down in response and get it to boot. That maintains the advantage. The issue is he's now on an island alone towards A, and Arcade isolates him. Good kill. Sacrifice totally unawares. Micro up towards Arch, unexpected. Player bottom mid is spotted. Doesn't kill. In fact, Micro's on a hater. Double in the round for the last alive. Sure, he's had impact in this one thus far, but a 1v3 seems near impossible given the heater that Micro is on. He's going to try. He's going to go to the smoke. Spotted. Taken down by Seth to the edge of the box. And Carpe Diem do successfully isolate that round. The victory here in round number 6. Carpe
Yeah,
Diem.
this is huge.
It's huge. This is the exact same start we saw on the first map.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is essentially where the one team was just coming in, guns blazing, starting things off. And yeah, I mean, Carpe Diem are now the ones doing it. And like we talked about, we said, you know, Micro would be a really good addition to any team. And, you know, despite the double team kill, I mean, he's still top fragging right now in the server and also on his team. So this is huge. He's been able to find some really good opportunity to get some groundwork done.
Yeah, again, I feel like even with a double kill like that from Micro, you can tell the comms are still goofy. They're still riding out of it, for sure.
Especially with his personality. He's a funny guy, so he definitely... I'm sure they made light of it, too.
Now, you were on with him a bit on the on the close qualifier for the RMR, I should say.
I was.
So you have had some interaction with him as well.
I did? Oh, wow. Wiz actually committing to that fight?
He's the selfless entry.
Yeah, and the utility actually kind of pushed them back a little bit, so he was kind of committed, and he couldn't turn back. But they do get in the side. Again, these CTs are close. Everybody's rotating through now. There's no lurk coming in from the T's, so this is just going to be that 4-on-4. Not going to be easy for the AWP, and I have a little bit of utility still, so they can get some groundwork, but this is not easy.
That's not. Utility the op as well. It's going to be an added thorn in their side. Jason, though, going to stop him. Have the trades. Micro again, an ever-present threat. Intro does find one in the MP9, but Micro should be ace in the hole. One secured, the second has an MP9. This should be free for Micro. He's going to pull up the for good measure. He'll hear Pendulum heading for the hills. Desperately trying to save that off. Micro flashing in. Finds some damage. Wants the kill. No, instead he'll fall trying to get away from that bomb radius, but Pendulum will also fall by extension. 6-1 for Carpe Diem, taking down all 5, dropping that op. Also very important. That might force Fluffy Gamers to save going into round number 8. And as I said, I do go for some investments.
Yeah, this is huge though. But even again, like Micro just kind of thing with them there. Like you said, the extension of the bomb taking out, you know, the offer. This was important because, I mean, he doesn't even need the frag. I mean, it's just gonna be huge because that op can't be saved. So now they have the M4s with Lyricity and MP9, and the utility again. It's not terrible. I mean, 4 smoke, the 4 double flash or the 4 flashes, but not the really best utility. And now these seats are actually going to get a bit more aggressive. A nice deep smoke coming in, so Intra's already gained some great real estate. But it's a question of what his teammate's going to be able to do for him. That is another smoke available for the deep banana control. But Carpe Diem, man, I think the way we've seen them play so far, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised just kind of barrel through in the bracket right now.
I feel like they're just barreling through. So much confidence in the way they play. Seb holding for this flank. He knows the gamers are getting desperate, but that walk-in is what that phase. Micro's still looking for it, but not as aggressive. They line up. He only gets one. Lots of damage, though. Lake dropping intra. Arcade across the map as well. Drops one on the other side of a second smoke in middle. So it looked like a big opportunity to find an advantage off some aggression. Blows up in their faces. Fluffy Gamers 3 versus 4. Jason might not be on this world either. Alone over towards truck side.
Yeah, nice one coming in from Lake too. Again, taking out sacrifice. That's a big player to remove. Jason trying to get a little bit more aggressive, trying to equalize things, get some players down, but not going to happen at all. And Pendulum now by himself just has to retreat to get out of here. There's no chance on this. Retaking the A site is not an easy thing to do. And man, Carpe Diem have come in with 7-1. Nate, this is madness.
Brazil scoreline.
Yeah, exactly. You said it, not me. I was just like, but man, it's funny because like we were talking, you know, Fluffy Aimers came in really well on Vertigo, and I thought Inferno would be harder, but it's really kind of proven that's not the case at all, obviously.
Yeah, when you have your substitute fragging as he is, with a personality case, he can definitely take over the server. And that is definitely what he's doing here. Pendulum, the last alive, is going to live. Towards C-spawn, no one's even close. They're all looking towards B instead. 7-1 though, one single rifle saved next to no money. Fluffy Gamers can try to, again, get something together in terms of a scraggy buy, but should go for the half, and that's what they'll do. 5-7 for Learsea. MP9s for Jason and Sacrifice. Intra, also a 5-7. To round out the investment. They have the kit, as utility, they have the hero rifle, but again, individuals far quiet for Fluffy Aimers, while Carpe Diem obnoxiously loud.
Well, we've seen a position like this before where a team had, you know, not the best inventory of guns and they bring back around, but we're going to have to see something huge from Fluffy Aimers. And we just haven't been able to find any players that have been able to get some pretty insane rounds, except for, I feel like, kind of Sacrifice, in my opinion. But we'll see in this one. Back to a 2-3, and the rotates are coming in. They're even kind of recommitting to this, so now making it a 3-2 committed. Oh, and they're actually giving up banana? Oh, yeah, they got a bite on. Oh, and they actually are committed to this. This is going to be a brawl, man. This is going to be a full fight here. Bracket control here for Carpe Diem, but the nice thing about this, they can pull out anytime they want. They don't even have to commit to this.
Other avenues open. The issue is Fluffy Gamers are playing right on site, so Carpe Diem don't know it's a stack as of yet. They're worried about it, but they're stuck in a kill box now. The 5-7s come in, rain down from both sides, leaving just Seb. Got a quiet map. Not been struggling by any means, but he hasn't had to be the one to answer the call. And then a 1v3 with those weapons on the ground, it seems near impossible, especially at that checkpoint. A second at last secured, again, echoing similarities to the first map, or to the first best of one, I should say, where Carpe Diem finally get another round on the board thanks to pistols.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. I said it, and I was like, well, maybe not, surely. And yeah, it does happen. So anything's possible. We've learned that already. But a big round for Fluffy Gamers, much needed. I mean, we're getting closer and closer to the end of the first half, and AWP's back out again. So the off-and-off duel will happen. And Carpe Diem, I was a little bit surprised in that last play. Like, just seemed so focused and, you know, committed to bracket. They wanted it, but I don't know why, but that's okay. That was some of the that we had, you know, resulting in the lack of Wilco. Now they're going to re-aggress into bracket again. It's a nice double stacker on top of mini roof, and Jason gets things started, and Carpe Diem, they have a decision to make if they want to fall back now. Lots of time.
Plenty of time. Far less passive on Inferno when compared to Vertigo. And I like this look a lot more from them. Wiz, op in hand, is going to be the spear point towards Banana, and he might have Hopper's duel. He won it over towards the long haul, I believe, twice earlier in this half. I know him is holding a very niche angle. Corner angle, in fact. Seb walks in, he's dead. Lineup. He got 1.5. Wiz got through the back. That's a lot of damage done.
What?
He finds it another on Micro overextending. Jace drops Arcade. Wiz is the last. 15 HP. Op in hand in a full 5 to contend with. This round is all but certainly Fluffy Aimers at this stage.
Unless we see the most insane round from Wiz here with 15 HP and gets multi-kills to get out of a really bad situation. Look at, like, you can already see interest is leading. Jason's going to be close on by to assist as well. Oh, it's a nice shot from Wiz, but can he get out of this still? Maybe, but Fluffy Aimers, they now know exactly where he is. They should be hunting this. They have some money, but no, actually going to stay committed. And I can't believe it. Wiz actually does get... I thought he was gone.
It's very surprising. Jason's even on the hunt. Won't get the kill. 3-7. At long last, securing 2 in a row. Still a long way to go, however. And Carpe Diem have at least another buy on deck. Not sure what Micro and Seb are going to have. Micro goes for a Galil. Seb probably go for a Galil or a Mac 10, perhaps. Maybe a shotgun. Nope, Galil in hand as well. Fluffy Aimers, they can win this round. They should have a 5th by extension, and that would be a remarkable comeback given what was at one point a 7-1 score in favor of Carpe Diem.
Yeah, that nice lead. I mean, now this is the exact same that we saw in the first game that happened earlier on, right? I mean, this is where, you know, the other team was able to back some rounds and, you know, kind of make it a bit more competitive. Fluffy Aimers are starting to get a little bit more of their footing. A double stack here on lane once again. They did it the round previous, so I wonder if they're going to be expecting it twice in a row. You never do. This could either be genius or not. That's the question. It's Lake that's going to contest it too.
There's no skybox about that innate offense anymore to clear it out, so it becomes far more difficult to contend with. Sacrifice finds the opening on the Lake. You mentioned he would be the point man out from Boiler. Taken down rather easily as well. 5/4 secured, and Carpe Diem might be shifting gears towards B. It'll be the right call. Fluffy Aimers have been leaving one player here consistently, leaving just the op to defend.
Yeah, it's starting to look like a little bit of overthinking now. The op's actually starting to creep out here. Wiz actually does get the better of it, so that's a good duel to win. Now Learsy by himself in this B site. Sacrifice does pick up a little consolation prize, but the bomb's not going to come toward Learsy, needing to find multi-kills. 20 seconds remain. They haven't cleared it. Goes for a swing. He's able to find it. Now there's a problem here, Carpe Diem. They have to clear out this position, but he's able to find a second as well. Wiz now needing to fall back again and save the AUP. There is not a hope in hell he's be able to find this, and there we go. Fluffy Aimers come up from a play of Learsy to get themselves a 4th. I can't believe we're in this position again.
I believe this is the exact scoreline. The last half was swung back by Fluffy Aimers on Vertigo to put it at an 8-4. Now it could be the exact same for Carpe Diem heading into the final round of this first half. Inferno. By though, going to be scrappy. The scrappiest we've seen thus far for Carpe Diem on this second map. Going to be 2 Tech 9s and 2 mechs surrounding the op. Desperate, but it could force them to get more aggressive. And again, when Carpe Diem were aggressive and confident, that's when they were most dangerous.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if they're starting to overthink a little bit too, and that's something I'm wondering here from the Carpe Diem side. We talked about the IGL being removed. Fluffy Aimers have been able to get themselves second wind at least. So everything's down to this. Last round of the first half we go. On best of 1. Tech 9s with an up. Oh, Lake's just going to run on in. He's got to decide on what he wants to throw first. Oh, Wiz, okay. Starts things off. Nicely done. Will they be able to find Jason? He's got the high ground. Oh, he's made his presence known, but it's 2. And finally, nice little bit of reply coming back. Bodies are hitting the floor. Sacrifice just hitting in the back of the site. Takes down the bomb carrier. And there it is. Sacrifice finds 2. That's going to be the end of the first half. We'll see you after break.
was a very solid start for Carpe Diem. Petered out towards the tail end of the first half. We are now in the second there on the CT side, and I am Pineapple Phillips, joined by Laz. Carpe Diem, a pair of dualies for Lake and Seb, the norm. Fluffy Aimers, anything but the norm. In fact, going for a full set of Kevlar across the board.
Oh, yeah. Giddy up, partner. We'll see what is going to happen. I love seeing the double dualies, man. I love this meta, you know? It's fun. It's exciting. You know, Boggs was here. He'd be licking his lips right now.
He's always doing that, though.
That is true, yeah. And then he says something Star Wars, you know, but we already know that, too.
Something Star Wars, something Lord of the Rings, or something even more esoteric that I don't know and awkward to try to dance around.
You and me both, brother. But, you know, either way, things we do know is Fluffy Aimers have really hit the brake. They're just kind of weighing things out. They're getting a feeler. And Jason, he's now figured out, okay, there's some players close on Sandbag here. I don't like this. He's just going to fight. He's actually getting some info. He get a frag. He will not. And Carpe Diem, they pick up 3. They pick up 4. And it's over.
It's over. Not a, no, they did a total of 13 damage in the round, excuse me. It's Seb.
Kind of reminds me of my face and pucks. Yeah.
Yeah, you said they hit the brakes. I'd argue that they were in park. First round of the half, didn't move for a solid 40 seconds, got 0 kills. I would argue they're still in park. They might even be reversed. They might have regressed from what was a resurgence in that first half, because that was anything but successful. No bomb plant, no kills, no roads, no nothing to show for it. Carpe Diem again back at the driver's seat, 8-5, reestablishing some semblance of their former lead, and now looking to cement it with a quick round here. The M4 speaking down the middle. We're seeing that confidence reach its head once more. Carpe Diem gonna make this switch. There are some invested pistols that make it a little bit spooky. Those deagles are we talking about. Intra finding one, picking up Hamas. Should be hard pressed to even get a bomb plant at this stage. 2 versus 4 makes things rather dire for the T side.
Yeah. This ain't great. This is tough. And I mean, the fact that we talked about this before, obviously, but Carpe Diem now being on the CT side, I feel like it can relieve a little bit of that pressure, you know, despite their situation that they're in with the roster. But now, I mean, this is where Fluffy Aimers, they have a long road ahead of them. It's 2-on-4. Deagles, no utility left at all. This is about Deagles hitting heads. And that's not an easy thing to do. CTs are split the 2-and-2. Not in a minute. Oh, smoke criminal? Oh, yeah. Do it. Oh, Learsy. Oh, no. And it's over again, Nate.
Done and dusted. Rather clean, the FAMAS. Boggs would say it's better now. It's still bad. I would argue the MP9 is far more serviceable, especially when played over towards B. So not too much lost, all things considered, for the C side of Carpe Diem, as they are now slowly waltzing their way towards what could be a victory on this second half of the evening. 3 M4 A1Ss, 2 MP9s. This is a full fleet of AKs and lackluster utility. 2 flashes, 2 smokes, and 1 Molotov is all that Fluffy Aimers have going into round number 2.
Oh, and look at this control too for the CTs. They actually just arrow down Banana with the MP9s. That was perfectly executed in my opinion. I mean, the fact that they're able to put on that pressure just like that, taking down Jason and also doing over, 50 damage? This is insane. That's a good start, and now they have the man advantage. They can just sit back, looking pretty again, and making even more of a problem here for Fluffy Aimers.
Massive thorn in their side. Not to mention, or not. He decided Micro took like no damage. Micro does take more, but he deals even more. Intra taken down by a flurry of bullets to the nose. Zeb now combining fire. Not even required necessarily. Micro would have probably gotten that kill in spite of stealing it. Pendulum and Sacrifice, the final 2 in the round. One's top Banana, one's falling back alt middle. They both have AKs. They have no utility. They only have 50 seconds, and they have no control to show for it. The MP9s, we said it can be deadly, but I did not expect that kind of showing from Micro and Seb. At this point, they just wait out the time because it's going to be a save, and then Seb can press, grab AK towards top Banana, and from there, Carpe Diem, 3 rounds separate them from victory on Inferno.
Yeah, I love the way that, again, that Carpe Diem were able to utilize the MP9s. The timing was perfect. The utility had just allowed them to get through that halfway point on Banana. And banana control is so important on this map, right? I mean, it just can cut off so much of the real estate, and the fact that, Carpe Diem is able to do that so convincingly, it's just huge. And Micro finding that double kill, just adding more cash here in bank, which is just making it better, because even if they lose the next round, I mean, they're going to have an op that's available. So boy, oh boy, Fluffy Aimers, they haven't a timeout yet. I'm kind of thinking good. I mean, we're talking double digits now. Lake, oh, good grief. A little bit deep waters, but that's okay.
Seb gets no upgrade either. Maybe the weapons were dropped out of the map and I hadn't noticed. Have we seen a timeout this game?
I don't think we've seen enough timeout. I think there was that one tech issue, which I think Pendulum is disconnected.
Yep.
That was it, though.
No timeouts is very
We're doing speedruns.
We are doing speedruns. And you know what? I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Already had enough technical issues. Don't need more.
Good start, though. The good changes back in fourth here. Wiz actually does able to find that duel with the off, but it takes a lot of damage. And now the Galils, surprisingly, are coming in. And Seb's only able to find that one with the M4. And these CTs now, I think this is going to be an instant save, because look at the positioning they're in. The bomb's already in the site. I mean, they have tons of utility, but again, they aren't even remotely close to the site. And I think this is the right call.
Yeah, they have an op and a 2v3. Even given the weapons, a 2v3 in general towards Banana is just not favorable. Most teams, when they're that far away, would already call the save. The up cements it for sure, especially with Wiz as low as he is at 30 HP. So, 6-10, Fluffy Aimers finally on the board. They'll keep 3 players up with AKs. That should help their T-side economy. Carpe Diem can dip into the coffers, but they don't have a lot of money to work with. Wiz can drop a rifle, Arcade can drop a rifle. Seb might have to do with what he's got.
I just can't believe Seb didn't get a multi-kill in that kind of a position, right? I mean, it's just a tough angle to play that like quick connector piece, right? When you kind of go for the dig goal. Yeah, I was thinking he maybe would have been able to find 2 there. That could really change things around, but yeah, it's just a one and done. Now look at the money. I talked about they were floating green, and not the case anymore. And they're going to force up around this. I like this play, though. MP9's coming back out. Another 4, actually, so just a singular SMG.
Yeah, and they still have good utility. They have the kits. Helmet's not required. Like, made the right call there. Looks good for Carpe Diem. As good as it did before. And Wiz, op in hand, could go for another opening. There's no op to challenge. He's gonna go peek out middle with that Molotov down bottom mid. Fortunately, no one's pressuring that way, though. Only a player all the way back in towards the halls. So Fluffy Aimers will avoid that first trap.
Oh, that's a great nade. I was wondering if Micro was going to be out of there in time, but I think he peaked at the wrong moment. Takes a huge nade, already down to 50 damage. Another nade doing more damage here. The utility usage is huge right now for Fluffy Aimers. Finally getting some groundwork. Look at that. 1-2. Yes, please. Wiz now coming in aggressively with this off, trying to be the difference maker. And now pops open the smoke, but he's a little bit too slow on it. Fluffy Aimers are just going to bombard the site again. Carpe Diem, a tough decision if they want to commit to this. He gets a no-scope?
It's a no-scope. Nade over the smoke, finds a second. This is exemplary from Arcade. Finally answering back against those suffocating spams through the smoke we saw on Vertigo. This round's been turned on its head. Lake's on a tiny flank. Pendulum and Sacrifice are now in the man disadvantage situation. There's a Lake coming in for Sacrifice. It's a lot. Pendulum starts things off right. A first secure player in the cubby. Should have him dead, right? That will be the bomb, and that will be the round. It has to be at this stage. Sacrifice is the last, but do they realize he's in this flank? That's the question. When do they figure it out? 20 seconds left. He has to rather quick here as the last remaining member. Takes the shot. That should be the round. 14 seconds left. Not a chance at this stage unless he really makes this clean and quick. And he won't even pass the first hurdle. Wiz finds the op shot. Wiz having a solid second match. Well, might I add, at 13. Catch Micro. Carpe Diem only 2 away from securing Inferno.
No, I'm so glad you brought that up too, because I was just going to say that, like, we made a comment about, Verto, the ops weren't really doing much. We were saying on Inferno, T side, Wiz wasn't really able to find too much. But the CTI, we finally get to see that triple kill coming into full effect, which was something I think they needed. So it's great to see that he pulls up some critical duels. The first two were insane. I mean, that was a no-scope and then a kill through the smoke as well. So, I mean, a moment for him to step up. That was the perfect timing for it.
Perfect time to essentially close this game out. Rented the bomb plant. Economy of Fluffy Aim now teetering on a nice edge. They've had to reinvest as best they can. But again, they're lacking utility. They only have 3 AKs, a MAC-10, and a Galil. Does Carpe Diem have any full investment with that one SMG on Seb? We've already seen how capable that SMG can be in his hands.
Now Fluffy Aimers kind of just going back for bracket roll, just kind of, again, defaulting things out, double swinging in right now from Carpe Diem, and Lake's actually pushing good pressure and was about to throw the flash, but Lake, he's only able to find that one, so now the advantage comes in for Fluffy Aimers with the 4-on-3. Is given its presence here. Smoke coming in, so Wiz now going to have to reposition himself. It's a beautiful shot, but he gets removed quick. Still, Fluffy Aimers leading this charge. Oh my goodness, Intra. Nice little one-tapperino, and Seb with an MP9. No real estate, really. This is asking a lot.
They have no money in the bank. He's going to save the rifle, but what are they going to do around it? They're going to try to go for maybe some pistol, but even that might seem like too much of an investment. They'll probably just full save in this round with one hero rifle to try and find something. Fluffy Aimer staying alive. 7-11 will be the score. They might even hunt down this rifle. That would really hurt them. Really hurt Carpe Diem, excuse me, going into what would be round number 19.
Yeah, this hunt is kind of important too, because if Seb doesn't survive, okay, I think he's going to be fine. But yeah, it's going to be a question about the money situation, right? I mean, this is everybody sitting at that low 2000s. You an arcade with 1500. I want to know what they want to work with. Oh, makes 7 on the board. Yeah, they're going all in. I mean, I think they realize they're on the double loss right now, so they're going to have to just force up. But even if Micro can find 1 or 2 kills, I mean, fucking some serious cash coming back in quickly. That's going to be paid off fast.
Yeah. It's going towards banana as well. It's the right spot.
Oh, yeah. Little opponent alone spot?
Not up close. It's not maybe when the Molotov subsides, he'll go for it. It's nade the double stack towards the corner instead. He'll be fine. He's playing the opponent alone position. Nade as well. Any chip is welcome for that shotgun. It can be very fickle to kills with.
Oh, I'm nervous for him. Yeah, there we go. Oh, look at that one. I haven't seen that in a long time, too.
Heat. He's bringing the heat. Cooking. Let him go.
Oh,
never mind.
No, you jinxed it!
They were already boosted up. Okay, I just didn't notice. That is very unfortunate.
So much hype, and now it's gone. And a full remaining, a smoke with a HE and a flash. That's all remaining here for the CT side utility. 1 kit. And that kit is all the way towards CT here. So it is close by. The X coming in here from Fluffy Aimers. Seb does find himself a little bit of a jiggle here. Does find that exchange, but now the CTs, they have to get themselves rotate here from the A side. Seb's still fighting this. Oh, look at that Fluffy Aimers. They're out of here. Oh, this is so terrible right now. Fluffy Aimers are losing bodies in arcade. He's able to find himself some big kill. So now he can get back in a better position.
They're in a very random spot, and they should know he's towards halls. That's the issue. On low HP, he'll struggle to find even one more. They know he's in halls. They know. They're waiting for it. Arcade, embassy swing, pendulum, and the meanwhile holding arch finds one. It's chaos as Seb gets into the site, but Jason drops arcade, leaving just Seb on site to try and find something. He'll get one, but he won't steal away the round. Just a brief blip on the radar. 8-11, 3 rounds separating these teams, and again, we're not at map point yet for Carpe Diem. There could still be a Fluffy Gamers map without overtime required if they can win 5 in a row.
Yeah, this is starting to be a little problematic, right? I mean, when we talk about, teams that, have a big lead and now it's starting to creep back in, this is where it gets a little bit scary, but I mean, this is just going to be a pretty much a nade round. Just going to push down mid. They're going to hope for the best. Do a bit of a speed run. Yeah, not much to expect here. So Fluffy Gamers, again, on paper, should be able to fast 9th pretty fast. Maybe 1 kill, maybe 2 here with the pistols. Not looking great. Arcade going right back into halls where he was before. A little deja vu, I guess. But he might be able to find this kill on clear C. And he doesn't even do that. Oh, man. Okay, 5 alive around here, Nate. This is a good start. And now Carpe Diem, they got some cash going. Not great for an op, obviously not enough money, but this is a big moment for them to get at least on that match point.
Yeah, this gives them a very good amount of momentum. It's definitely Carpe Diem. Should be playing a little bit more passive. As you know, they're going for a half buy. Fluffy Amers should be given a 10th. That's 1 away from tying it up. Its comeback is looking a lot more substantive now, a lot more possible.
Oh. What do we see here, Nate? Having a 4-1, I like this. Good gamble, like you talked about before. I mean, when you're kind of on the lighter purchases, why not, right? Go for a nice little clean flip. Didn't work out for, but we'll see if it can work out this time. Maybe Fluffy Gamers will go back. They'll go back to A. They'll be like, you know what? I got a bad feeling about B. Let's just retreat. Let's get out of here.
I gotta dodge. I like this measured play from Fluffy Amers, though. Slowing down, waiting for someone to get aggressive. They know the buy is low. They don't want to punt this away. I made the right read this far. Straight income at 10. Bullets exchange. Learcy's very low. He'll survive. And Fluffy Amers have made the right call. It's going to be a B-site plant pendulum through the smoke. Try micro CT. That's unfortunate. At this point, they're fighting for scraps. Could probably save some Kevlar as to Arcade and Zeb. This round is already a Fluffy Amers one at this point. 10-11 should be the score, barring some zany hijinks from Lake and Arcade.
Yeah, this could be really nice for Lake to be able to find maybe a quick kill, an exit here in this kind of position. In Arcade, I was thinking if he could have gone out of that, that could have been nice with the AK, but not going to. Now double digits coming in for Fluffy Amers, so they have been able to bring back consecutive rounds. So this is starting to get real tight, but now we're going to have full gun round coming through. Carpe Diem, tons of cash being spent here, like both these teams spending 28 grand. There's a lot of investment in here. This is scary.
It's scary. Best way to put it. Anybody's map at this stage. If you told me that at the end of the first half, I would have laughed at you. Even a couple rounds prior, I would have laughed at you. Yet, Fluffy Gamers showing us that they have the mental fortitude required to come back from the brink. Wiz now has an op, as Pendulum both trying their hand at the green, of course, as we talked about, Wiz having solid success thus far. There's a time for Micro to reassert himself as the monster he was in that first half. It would be now. As we talked about, Carpe Diem have been forced back into a respectful or standard setup on the CT side. Pendulum is going to that with a kill against the opping Wiz. Seb only good for 1. Taken out by that pug punishing utility you talked about before. 3 versus 4. A retake from CT spawn. They might even call it quits here unless they find a kill on the crossing.
Well, that's a sick lineup. Pop open the smoke. Doesn't work out here, though, for Lake. He does some good damage. Intro's really low. That bomb's exposed, and that's great. The bomb's not even down. Still 50 seconds. Lots of time here. Carpe Diem, they're starting to get the kill feed in their favor. So all of a sudden, things have switched around, and I don't even know what's going on. People are going through smokes. This is nuts. Lake, he doesn't smoke his player above. Leaving it down to Learcy on a clutch situation. He's been able to do this before. Can he do it now? A 1-on-3 turning into a 1-on-2. The players swing together, and there we go. Match point finally coming through here for Carpe Diem somehow, some way, and we'll see if they can get across the finish line.
It's better late than never, but their team was fully invested. They only have 2 surviving. Sure, they get the op at least for Wiz, but their buy is going to be compromised for this final round, whereas Fluffy Amers have built up a major economy behind them. Buy is better than I expected, but still that glaring compromise on Seb. The MP9 than a rifle. Again, it can do damage, but you definitely would rather have a rifle at this stage, because if you lose this round, your economy is sent tumbling, and from there, we are very likely going to overtime.
Yeah, so much riding on this for so many reasons, but I don't know even now. I mean, the op's still out here for the T side. Instead, Banana Control is actually giving up a little bit here from the CT side of Carpe Diem. They don't contest this. They kind of just play really passive. They don't even want to contest on the sandbag. I like this adjustment, though. They haven't been successful. So at least they got the good read on that. 3-2 set coming in from Carpe Diem. Wiz just locking things off in lane. He might be able to find something here. At least Lircio was worried that he was going to get a bit aggressive, but the Molly now stops off any more aggression.
I like the setup as well. Carpe Diem making a big adjustment. Double up to CT spawn for B. Micro down below and Seb up top on the MP9. Combined with the triple stack towards truck side. One top porch, one bottom, and holding the balcony. It's a big adjustment. Could definitely pay off. So we've seen a lot of battles take place towards that truck side, and putting all of your manpower there can definitely pay off. 1, 2, 3. A double with the op. Wiz still swinging as well. Instead, it's just Lake to find the second, leaving Sacrifice as what could be just a sacrificial lamb. 13-10, Carpe Diem bring it back. It was anything but pretty in the end, but they do get it across the line to split the best of ones of the evening. One in favor of Fluffy Gamers and one in favor of Carpe Diem.
Yeah, it's a very interesting night for us, right? We were talking a lot about this. We were thinking like, hey, you know, Fluffy Gamers in the beginning, we thought, hey, Carpe Diem is going to have this, you know, they're going to be able to get both to ones possibly in their favor. But you know what, like you said, in this format now, the way it is that both these teams can get W each side. So, I mean, that's going to be good for them to start things off, I guess, all things considered. But it was getting pretty worrisome here for Carpe Diem, considering the fact that, I mean, they had a huge lead, they're losing their footing, but they somehow built it back and could make it pretty close. They got the job done for a W.
It was definitely a slog there at the later stages of Verno, but they got it across the line. That's what counts. And again, I feel like the big elephant in the room is that Walco not here. That is the issue. I feel like his, especially mid-round adjustments or even mid-half adjustments on both T and CT side are his strength. And I feel like that's where they really struggled. They started off both halves strong. And then when we got to the later stages, they began to struggle. I feel like with Walco there, with his whole strat book in the wings, I feel like they can definitely find more success in the later stages. But hey, they can be happy. They played with a substitute, and they still were able to get that map.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the thing too. I think everything that was kind of happening for this matchup, got to see, you know, this is the first match, you know, for us in NA. So this is always, you know, exciting to see. And I think we got a little bit of taste what Fluffy Gamers could do. I mean, this was a very interesting team. Their Vertigo looked really great. I mean, they won that, 13-7, I believe. And I mean, I felt like they had pretty much full control of that game for the most part. Like a lot of the rounds they lost were really close. So I think that the fact that they got a nice 1-1 here today on the two separate best of ones is a really nice accomplishment for them. It definitely could have gone the other way if, you know, the roster was full effect here for Carpe.
Yeah, I wasn't knowing, or I didn't know what to expect coming into this set games tonight. We kind of just picked a whim when we were offered. We said, Diem, Walco Wiz sounds like a fun time. Get to see how they're doing. But I am coming out of this very pleasantly surprised, not only with how Carpe Diem are doing in spite of not having GL here, but also more importantly, and I think more excited about Fluffy Gamers than I would have anticipated by far. Like they have that depth. A couple young players coming up. We've seen Intra before on the likes of Timberman and the likes. Additionally, Lircy, we've seen him around, Sacrifice, Pendulum. A lot of these players we've seen before, but they are finally beginning to find their footing, and I am excited to see what they can do in this season of ECL.
Yeah, definitely. But that's going to be it for us here tonight. So we get to those two best of ones that are already done. So making sure you can check out any of the other streams. There's lots of action that was happening here today, but we will be back tomorrow for some more ECL action, of course. But everybody, for myself and Pineapple and production, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow.